It's the music that we choose. 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 The music that we choose. The world is spinning too fast. I'm fine that Nike shoes to keep myself tethered to the.
Welcome to the evening show. My name is Chris, and today we have two very special guests. Can I please welcome Mr. Karl Marx?
Thank you, Chris.
Now, Mr. Marx, can I ask you about the pamphlet you wrote? Please tell us about it. I named my pamphlet the Communist Manifesto, and it holds all my ideas about socialism. Socialism? In socialism, the government owns all businesses, and everyone gets the same amount of money. This eliminates social classes. Now, Mr. Marx, what are your views on capitalism? I do not agree with the ideals of capitalism. I feel it is a way for the rich to take advantage and exploit the working class. I feel that if all of the world shall use this capitalistic ideas, that all of society and all of the countries in the world, they will be divided by a huge rift in the social classes. This is the flaw I tried to stop with my ideas of communism. Thank you for coming and explaining this.
Thank you for having me.
Our next special guest is another man who has a plan for our economy. Please, let me welcome Mr. Adam Smith.
Hello, it's good to be here.
I'm glad. Now, can you please tell me about capitalism?
Capitalism is based on the idea of laissez-faire, literally translated to mean let do. This applies to capitalism because it means that the government does not interfere with the affairs of the people, and that businesses shall succeed if they are good, businesses shall fail if they are bad, and it is a free economy. Mr. Smith, could you please tell me your views on socialism and communism? I think that the ideas of socialism and communism, they will cause workers to be unmotivated and feel unrewarded, and cause the economy to collapse on itself, because why would a man work if he has no chance of bettering his life and his family? Capitalism fixes this. Thank you for the explanation. Thank you for having me.
That was very informative. Now, onto the new topic of the controversial new war. We apologize for interrupting your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this breaking news. We have new developments on the mill crisis in the heart of Manchester. Experts are calling this crisis the Occupy Manchester. Reporter Maria is live in the scene.
Thank you, Laura. I am out here live in the streets of Manchester, England, as angry protesters have been out here for days. Excuse me, ma'am. Yes. What are you protesting? We are protesting the unfair working conditions that have been forced upon us. Please explain. Since I was 10, I worked 14 to 16-hour days, 6 days a week. Our only break was for lunch. And the conditions are horrible. They're not safe. How? There is no fresh air. The fibers get into our lungs. The machines are unsafe, and I caught my finger in one. And instead of doing anything about it, my boss just threatened to fire me. Have you considered joining a union? What is a union? A union is a workers' association formed to bargain for better working conditions and higher pay. I did not know such a thing existed. Could you please tell me how you started working at the mill? Years ago, our farm started not being able to pay our bills. Larger farm owners could produce the same amount of crops at a cheaper rate, and I was forced to go get a job in the city. My father called it urbanization, or when massive amounts of people started moving towards the cities. But how are your living conditions? What is it like at your house? I share a small room with many other girls. We all work at the mills and come home exhausted from work every night. It's really It's not a very good place to live, but at least there's always food on the table, and I can pay home for my family. Thank you for your time and all the information. Now back to you, Laura.
Thank you, Maria. The rich landowners do seem to be causing a problem. Landowners have large portions of land and ask for cheap labor. This is causing an industrial revolution. An industrial revolution is a period in which more machine-made products are being sold. These times are tough, and even though it is an industrial revolution, I feel like sometimes it'll be a revolution of other things too. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. On the same subject of government and economy, our Parliament is planning on passing a few new laws that should dramatically change how we do stuff. The first law that Parliament wants to pass is to abolish slavery. The next law Parliament wants to pass is the Factory Act. This should stop child labor problems and help prevent the strikes. This law will make it illegal for factory owners to hire children under the age of 9. Children between the ages of 9 and 12 will only be allowed to work no more than 8-hour days. Children between the ages of 13 and 17 will only be able to work up to 12 hours a day. Another act Parliament wishes to pass is called the 10-Hour Act. This will prohibit women and children from working in a factory for more than 10 hours a day. Thank you for tuning in to the evening show, and as always, have a great evening.
Next up, Life and Times.
It's a very rainy day here on the outskirts of Manchester, as this is the last day I will be living with my parents on our family farm. Tomorrow will be the day I'll move into the city and I'm going to get my job in the mill. I'm not looking forward to it. Our family might lose our farm if I don't, though, because it's hard to keep up with competition. This is the end of the first day of me working at the mill, and I had to cut my hair short because I heard stories of girls getting their hair pulled on by the machine and then being fired, and I hope they're not true, but I don't want it to happen to me. And I'm now about to go home after working about over 14 hours today. So I'm ready to go and see where I'm going to be living for the next few years while I help my family back on the farm. It will all be worth it. All of the poor lighting, I can barely see, and there's no windows open, and I'm breathing in everything, and it really hurts. But it'll all be worth it at the end of the week, when I can send back what little money I have to my family, just to help them, because times are tough, and even though this job is really awful, it's a job, and I know I can be replaced at any moment.
Sorry to interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you breaking news. We have new developments on the... What are you doing? How tight. Hello, I'm Adam Smith. No, I'm not. We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you breaking news of the new Smith. The Factory Act